What's up, everybody? It's SJG Perspective. I haven't been putting up videos every single day right now, simply because everything's been changing so quickly, and we've had such a massive amount of information coming out. It's hard to wrap my brain around everything and read everything and develop an opinion. And I've been waffling back and forth, and being quite honest, I just don't know what I think at times. I've also been just doing stuff with the family and doing some stuff around the house and spending some of this time that I have off of getting some things done. So we just got done with the presser today from President Trump, which after each one of these pressers, all of us feel a little bit better, right? I think. I mean, most of the time, we're just like you got Mike Pence, who's just like soothing balm of calm down. It's all going to be okay. And, Trump, who's, hey, we're going to bounce back. Everything's going to be good. It's going to be great. It's fantastic. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the best deal ever. And then you had you'd have the conflicting. You could see there was a little bit of conflicting with him and his doctor at times. But anyways, today was a pretty decent presser. But what I am left wondering is how we truly bounce back from this right now, and not trying to be totally doom and gloomer, but where this leaves us from now. Now, I mean, when this was all breaking out, I was wondering, as probably many people were, is this leading us straight into the pits and the hells of full-on martial law? Is this we're going to roll out and, you're going to have tanks in every street and that's going to be completely locked down? I mean, that was very real possibilities at times. It seemed very plausible. I think it's going to be more, and it's still happening right now. We do have essentially martial law not martial law, but one minor step from it, in many cities around the country, several at least. That could still get worse. We don't know. After today, President Trump's thinking this is all going to start to flatten out, and he's going to give recommendations that we all go back to work and whatnot. Maybe that happens. Maybe it doesn't. The damage that's already been done by this, which we're going to find out later, people are going to dig into. We're going to find out really what caused this panic more than just the virus, right? How this was pushed and the real agenda behind this. I think we'll see it someday. I know we will. There'll be enough evidence of it out that why this was done. I don't just think it was an accidental, disease that was released. But the damage that's already been done, we don't really know what that looks like yet. We really don't understand how bad that truly already is, right? And I mean, like this article that comes out of, or this article talking about here, the travel papers and the pandemic Patriot Act 2.0. It's things like this that I wonder how many more of these things we're going to see, along with social credit scores now. And they're going to be able to, even if we get back to normal in the next month or so, and we're just moving right ahead, this was so unprecedented. This is going to be used to push forward all kinds of draconian measures on us, all kinds of losses of liberty, what happened after the Patriot Act, after 9/11, what happened there. Many things are going to be pushed out on top of us that are already right now. And I know we're not even done with this. We're not out of the woods yet on this. But assuming we come out of the woods in the next month or so, which I still don't know how that really works out with everything that's already happened. But I could totally be wrong. And I so badly want to be wrong. Want to be wrong. But things like this right here, where it says your travel papers, the Pandemic Patriot Act 2.0. It says, did you ever think we'd reach the point in the United States where we'd have to have papers to freely travel from one place to another? It appears we're at that point. The MTA issued travel papers to their workers. On March 17th, a few days before New York issued shelter-in-place order, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority issued travel papers to their employees to prepare a potential coronavirus curfew, the New York Daily News reports. If non-emergency travel is restricted, workers can show law enforcement officials the letter if they're stopped on their way to work. This letter, along with the current New York City Transit identification, identifies this individual as an essential employee who is required to travel during the curfew imposed due to the coronavirus emergency, states the letter, which is signed by the Metropolitan Transportation Authority Police Department's acting chief, Joseph McGran. Please give this individual due consideration during this crisis. MTA spokesman Abby Collins said this letter was distributed on Monday to a limited number of NYCT bus employees living in New York or New Jersey because the state's Governor Murphy suggested imposing a statewide curfew between 8 and 5. Clearly, the wheels have been in motion for several days, and it's not just the MTA. Your papers, please. For everyone who thought the article about the lockdown of America was a historical overstatement and that they could still do whatever they wanted because it wasn't really being enforced, what are you thinking now that travel papers are being handed out? To me, this sounds like the lockdowns I wrote of yesterday were just the first incremental step towards a society that nobody hopes to see. Yesterday, readers sent me photos of travel papers provided to them by employees so that they could get to and from work. These are employees who work in industries like healthcare, pharmacies, food service, as well as other work in the as well as those who work in production, transportation, sales of essential supplies. One reader wrote, "We were told to show these if we got stopped on our way to or from work, and that if the authorities gave us any trouble, to not argue and just go back home." Here are some of the papers that people sent. So I'm not going to read this whole article right here. We'll be doing more discussions on these kind of things in the very near future. The point is, it's already happening in New York and in other places around the country where we're having our travel papers. We're already getting conditioned to, make the military, enforce these bad people that are going out. I agree people should be responsible right now and willingly just stay home until we get a good grip on what's going on. Until we really get a grip of what's going on, just social distance for a little while, stay at home. But getting used to that, but don't just freely give that up. Do it right now for a time being with the sense of like, this doesn't feel right. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, Mr. and Mrs. Government, but this doesn't feel right. I'm not just willingly giving up my rights. And being able to when the truth comes out, be able to then get those rights back and say, no, we're not going to continue in with your authoritarian plans. There's a balance, and this is where I'm upside down on, because I do want to stay away so I don't get a cold, because I've been sick 3 times and I don't want to get sick again. I got to protect and take care of my family. So I'm listening to these, but hesitantly listening to these, and in the back of my mind, knowing what governments love to do: take your power and lie to you, or keep power and lie to you. That's what governments like to do. They like to keep power and lie to us. They don't tell us the truth. So I'm really hoping, like this presser today, put me back. I was starting to be a little upset with Trump and some of the things he was doing. Now I'm starting to go like, okay, well this one was a little bit better today. He was actually more authoritative. Like, we're not gonna. Is the cure going to be worse than the actual issue? Right? Is the cure going to be worse than the actual problem? And really making a step, pushing back on that. It gives me a little bit of hope, and that he's not totally whatever. But we're definitely not out of the woods on this. And we're in an unprecedented time. So in any ways you still can, prepare. Open your eyes. Don't be a sheeple, and don't be willing to give up your rights. Giving up the Constitution. Giving into authoritarianism. This totalitarian overreach. And be prepared that because of this, down the road, in weeks, in months, they are going to use things like this, and probably this exact scenario for time to come, to implement a whole bunch of other authoritarian, totalitarian powers that they are going to say are going to be for your protection. And when they go to do that, you have to ask yourself the question of what is the ramifications of what they're saying, and why are they saying this, and am I going to comply or not? We can't give up our freedoms. Right now, be responsible, step back a little bit, get a deep breath, as long as you're socially distanced, and let's take a look at this. But don't get comfortable with this, is what I'm trying to say. Don't get comfortable with giving the government this much power and just letting them have it. Until next time, it's SJG Perspective. We'll talk to you soon. Join us tonight for the Patriot panel. I think it's on American Joe's channel. I'm not sure, but I will put a note up later to let you know. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.